believe Paul's message holds great urgency. As a nation, we face real challenges. We carry
Well,
that's why we fight for a democracy. That's why we fight for a democracy. Every voice is important. Every voice is important.
at the church. At the church.
Every voice is important.
Now, before we continue with today's video, I want to just take a quick second and send you guys my love and my prayers. I don't care if you're liberal, conservative, Democrat, Republican, blue, red. I don't care where you stand. I want to wish the best in all you guys' life, man. I don't care what your skin color is, where you're from, what your age is. One love to the human race, man. God is love, y'all. And I love y'all, man. That you are blessed, well, and healthy, man. But I just want to encourage you guys, man, to spread the love in these dark times that we're living in, man. But let's jump back into the video. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new here. We keep it real. We do not sugarcoat it. And we love all, man. Again, God is love, y'all. Bless you all and your families. Enjoy the rest of the video. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Y'all have been blowing me up, man. Spamming me, sending me this clip. Rick, can you please react to this? Can you please make a video on this? I told you, man, this lady is gonna be trending and viral for the wrong reasons, in which we predicted. This whole campaign, she's been viral for the wrong reasons. But I told y'all the truth is gonna shine in the light. Yes, indeed it will. Amen. It will shine in the light. Oh, I got chills. That truth is gonna shine in the light, man. God's work, baby. It's gonna shine in the light. But at the church, yes, at the church. You know, and she was just trending 1 week ago for kicking out students, protesters, Christians at the rally when they said Christ is King, Jesus is Lord. But everybody knows this woman's true colors, man. And it's sad at this point when you think about her campaign. You know, in this whole campaign, all you can think about is abortion. And they're playing with women, with women's rights. They're playing in people's faces, man. And we wipe Trump for being pro-choice. But when it's time to go out and vote in the states, when it's time to go out and vote, y'all only vote when it's for a president. And then mad about this, and that. That's one thing we do. We don't take accountability. We make excuses. But 0 votes. Most unpopular. And it's Roe versus Wade. Here you go. Abortion. Nothing else. No border, no economy. Just abortion when you think about this lady. And that's sad. With only 8 days left in this election. 8 days. And the only thing you can think about is abortion. Everything else, she's laughed at. The middle class story. I was a prosecutor. Dreams and aspirations. $25,000 for a first-time home buyer. Fake false promises. P. Diddy celebrity endorsements. Can't answer a question. Word salad. Repeats the same thing. Still waiting for my question to be answered. Still to this day, I'm still waiting. All I can say is, what did you expect? Now she's heckled once again. And people that stand on business, they know what's going on. Them Christians, them people ain't. They not gonna let this fly, man. They not gonna let it fly. And I told you, she went viral for the wrong. She been going, her and Biden, viral this entire year for the wrong reasons. I told you it was gonna be bigger than her just laughing. It's gonna get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. I told y'all, man. And I don't wish bad on anybody. But I told you what was gonna happen. We predicted this.
I do believe Paul's message holds great urgency. As a nation, we face real challenges. We carry That's why we fight for a democracy. That's why we fight for a democracy. Every voice is important. Every voice is important. Every voice is important. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Every voice is important. It's all right.
Wow. Wow.
It's all right. So here's the point. There are so many, for a variety of reasons, that carry a heavy heart and that want and must be heard. Here in Pennsylvania right now, each of us has an opportunity to make a difference. Because in this moment, we do face a real question. What kind of country do we want to live in? That's before us right now. What kind of country do we want for our children and our grandchildren? A country of chaos, fear, and hate, or a country of freedom, justice, and compassion? And the great thing about living in a democracy is we, the people, have the choice to answer that question. So let us answer not just with our words, but with our works. Yes, with our prayers, but also with our pressing. Yes, with our faith, and also our faith, but also our feet as we walk to the polls. And yes, in these next 9 days will test us. They will demand everything we've got. But when I think about the days ahead and the God we serve, I am confident that his power will work through us. Because, church, I know we were born for a time such as this. And I have faith he is going to carry us forward, and the road ahead won't be easy. It will require perseverance and hard work. But in times of uncertainty, Scripture reminds us, weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. The path may seem hard, the work may seem heavy, but joy cometh in the morning. And church, morning is on its way. God bless you. God bless America.
They haven't released the full interviews yet, but there are a couple of clips I want to address. So why don't we just start with why you clicked on this video. Here is Kamala Harris getting interrupted again during her speech. Watch.
I do believe Paul's message holds great urgency. As a nation, we face real challenges. We carry real We carry That's why we fight for a democracy. That's why we fight for a democracy. Every voice is important. Every voice is important.
Clearly, Kamala Harris is a walking contradiction to Christian faith, okay? That's the funny thing about this. It's only in the black community that we would tolerate this, okay? So I definitely want to say that out loud, all right? Now, if you thought that was crazy, wait till you see the most cringiest thing that you could ever see Kamala Harris do in a black church. Watch this.
Because, church, I know we were born for a time such as this. And I have faith He is going to carry us forward, and the road ahead won't be easy. It will require perseverance and hard work. But in times of uncertainty, Scripture reminds us, weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. The path may seem hard, the work may seem heavy, but joy cometh in the morning. And church, morning is on its way. God bless you. God bless America.
Yikes. So I say this all the time. I just don't like it when people like Kamala Harris act like they are true churchgoers. Yeah. Okay. And all of a sudden they have a Christian faith, rolling up into church knowing you support 0 restrictions on abortion. And I'm about to get to that, by the way. And now you want to switch up your accent so you can pander to people in the audience. This is not who you are. You're not a pastor. That's the thing. I don't understand why black people are tolerating this. This is crazy. It's not for me to put Kamala Harris down, okay? Because she's a human being just like all of us. We all have flaws. I got that. What I'm saying is, can you stop being fake? Just be who you are. You're from San Francisco, okay? You ran on being an American Indian senator. Indian. Not a black woman. That's facts. That's what the headlines say. That's what the titles say. That's in your own words you said.
We've been saying this for how long, y'all? And shout out to Candace Owens.
Getting back to the total contradiction that she is. We know she supports 0 restrictions on abortion. And yes, in this upcoming interview, she basically admits that. Watch this.
You do support restrictions after viability.
I support Roe versus Wade being put back into law by Congress and to restore the fundamental right of women to make decisions about their own body. It is that basic.
But you know, there are restrictions. With Roe versus Wade, there were restrictions after viability.
We would not be debating this if Donald Trump had not hand-selected 3 members of the United States Supreme Court with the intention they would undo the protections of Roe v. Wade. And what we have seen, as demonstrated last night and every day these last 2 years.
Again, I always come back to this conclusion. Like, I know people in her campaign are telling her, don't answer the question that way. I have to believe they are, because these are smart people. I just don't think she listens to them, or she just can't when the lights turn on. Because to answer that question in the way that she did, pretty much it says, yeah, I don't care about any restrictions, and it's Trump's fault. That's not going to work. Okay. And then the black community, a black church, allows someone like her to roll up and give a speech. I find it funny. Every 4 years, it's the black community going out there and humiliating ourselves, humiliating our culture. We are walking contradictions. I would respect them more if they just sat out this election. I'm not going to demonize people for not voting. If you believe in your religious faith that it doesn't make sense, then don't vote. That's fine. But to really cast a vote for someone who has 0 restrictions on abortion, knowing that when it comes to viability, that is murder, that's just, it's insanity, people. And that's just on the issue of abortion. We're still not talking about the mutilation of children. We're still not talking about putting illegal immigrants before me and you. All right, so here's Kamala Harris pretty much copying Trump again. She's now in a black Philly barbershop. Watch.
How's everybody doing? Vice President, we thank you so much for coming and being with us to have this conversation inside the barbershop.
Indeed, that's where all the truth gets spoken. That's
look,
where the news gets shared.
and you know, like this, we kind of breaking the code. We got you in the barbershop. You know, it's a little private, but
not my first time.
Okay, I'm just saying we got you in here today.
Again, I just don't think that she is equipped to be the next president of the United States. Not
At
because
all.
she's a woman.
It has nothing to do with her being a woman. I'm on, you know, but they say this and that, all that and that. You know, they send old Barry out there, you know. So y'all not gonna vote for her because she's a woman? She grew up just like you. You know, and again, they done pissed off everybody, man. These Democrats, the Barack Berry. And then his wife did it at the rally last night. Belittling voters, mocking voters. It has nothing to do about identity politics. It has nothing to do it, and it shouldn't. But that's what they're running off of, and it's sad, man. Is the woman qualified? And looking at these interviews, these town halls, looking at when she's in public, when she speaks, people think she's drunk, and y'all get to laughing. People laughing. It's not funny. People think this woman is drunk. She's unqualified. It doesn't have nothing to. There's some candidates I would love that are women that I would love to be president. But she's not qualified. No IQ, incompetent. And I'm still waiting for her to answer my questions. She still ain't answered my questions. And many voters have many people have the same exact questions as me. And we still ain't got no answers. But a filthy, disgusting word salad and a blame Trump for everything.
It's just because she doesn't have the it, right? You may hate Trump, but you know who he is. You know when he walks into a barbershop, he's not going to switch up his accent. He's not going to go to a church and start trying to talk black, right? I mean, he's going to be who he is no matter where he goes. That right there, whether you love him or hate him, American people respect that level of authenticity. And that, I say, is the biggest weakness of Kamala Harris. Now, another weakness of Kamala Harris is on foreign policy. She has no idea what she's talking about as it pertains to foreign policy, especially when you hear the way she answers questions about it. Again, here's her answering a question about Iran's escalating threat in the region.
Israel launched an attack on Iran that has raised fears of a widening conflict in the Middle East. What is your message to Iran?
Well, first of all, do not respond. It would be a mistake. And we are prepared to defend Israel as we have before. We will again. But the critical point is that there must be a de-escalation in the region. And we are working through diplomatic channels and other channels to ensure that there is a de-escalation in the region.
Is there any indication based on the intelligence that you've seen that Iran wants to respond?
I can't speak to that, but we've been very clear as the United States that they should not respond and that it would be a mistake.
What are the consequences if they do?
I'll keep you posted.
You can watch more of Noor's interview with Vice President Harris tomorrow on CBS Mornings and on the CBS Evening News.
The sitting vice president cannot speak to that. Now, if you ask Joe Biden that same question, I guarantee you he would give you an answer. Now, he may be rambling and he may be all over the place. He may forget what he said, but he's going to answer the question. Yeah. Okay. She absolutely just dismisses it outright. Oh, yeah, I can't answer that. Oh, you know why she doesn't want to answer the question? It's because she's a part of the administration that has failed to do any type of retaliation when Iran continued to attack either our own allies or our own soldiers. We know that Iran has become increasingly more wealthy and has become more flagrant because of how weak the current administration is. So, of course, she can't answer this question. Now, she has surrogates that are continuing to make excuses for her behavior. her poor performance as it pertains to these interviews. And as soon as that CBS interview drops in full, I will create another video about it. Anyways, I digress. And before I forget, if you're getting value from this video, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel so we get this out to more people like you and me. If you want to support us further, go to the link in the description below. Grab yourself some merch, or you could buy us a cup of coffee. Now, Mark Cuban, who's fallen from grace, he's absolutely unhinged. He keeps going after Elon Musk and Trump. But here's his excuse on why Kamala Harris is terrible at interviews.
So I've heard you say a couple times that she's not a good salesperson.
Right.
Isn't that important, not just in a campaign, but in being president?
Well, there's different types of salespeople, right? There are salespeople with lousy products that have to oversell. That's Donald Trump. Then there's other salespeople who may not be as boisterous and relentless, but know that they have a great product, so they don't have to be boisterous and relentless. That's Kamala Harris.
Okay, so let me get this straight.
That fool, I'm so sick of seeing and hearing him. He done came out there with them big old glasses on. I just don't get it, y'all. He always got something to say, man. Idiot. You should have just stayed where you was at. Over there in Dallas playing Uno and patty cake. Should have just stayed where you were at, man. Man, it's fiending for a spot, man. It's
Democrats have controlled the country 12 out of the last 16 years. You're claiming that she has a better product than the Republicans? Stop it, okay? This is the fundamental difference between the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. The Democratic Party historically has been the better party at selling their shitty product, okay? The Republican Party, on the other hand, they have a far superior product. They've just been very shitty at selling it. So I'm not buying that whatsoever. I mean, Mark Cuban, come on, guy. Come on. She is not a salesman. She'll never be a salesman. No one buys anything that she's selling. They don't even buy what you're selling because you're a walking contradiction too. Okay, I think I'm done ripping Kamala Harris and her campaign, and let's get into some numbers, right? There's really two things I want us to take a look at. Mark Halperin, okay, who's the owner of the Two-Way app. He's a phenomenal commentator now at this point, and he provides great insight on the state of the race. Let's hear what he has to say.
There's signs that things are getting very tense on both sides. It's asymmetrical, and you hear me talk about it all the time, the asymmetries. Republicans think they're going to win on social media, at Mar-a-Lago, members of Congress. That produces a different set of dynamics. I'll say again, the race is close. It shifted towards Trump, but abortion rights, women voters, superior financing and ground game, and Trump fatigue, no one should say the race is over. No one. But you can't ignore what we're seeing in the data. You can't ignore what we're seeing in the body language. And we've talked about all the various manifestations, and down ballot for Democrats is becoming an increasing issue. How Democrats want to close this contest, who are running separate from Kamala Harris, is becoming an increasing problem for Democrats.
That is a very fair assessment, because at the end of the day, none of us truly know without a doubt who's going to win. All right. But we do know right now, the polling, the numbers have all shifted towards Trump. That's number one. Number two, Trump clearly has the momentum. He is dominating social media. He's still dominating the media. I mean, the Beyonce rally is almost an afterthought at this point. He's in Madison Square Garden, sold out, by the way. So, and that Madison Square Garden rally, it's like an RNC part 2. This is really what's happening. So he knows what he's doing, to say the least. And I think he's going to make sure that he has the last word and the attention of the country heading into Election Day. And when you're hearing that down ballot, meaning senators and House of Representatives who are incumbents, not actually showing their support for Kamala Harris in their campaign ads, but showing their support for Trump in their campaign ads. I know it sounds crazy. Clearly, polling is saying that she's having trouble in these battleground states. And one of the biggest things that I think stands out in this election that we didn't see in 2020 and 2016 is the possibility that Trump could win the popular vote. Watch this.
One thing we have noticed in the last couple of days, this is not all of the polls that are out there now, but we have seen a number, 4 in the last 4 days, that have shown very small, but in the context of this close race, potentially meaningful movement in Trump's direction. I don't want to overstate it, but at the same time, it's hard to ignore these 4. The CNBC poll came out the other day, has Trump ahead by 2. The Wall Street Journal poll, Trump ahead by 3. These are national numbers. Siena and the New York Times, a tied race. CNN, a tied race. The significance here is broader movement. Again, we're seeing in Trump's direction. But what is happening nationally? Well, we can show you from the CNBC poll. They picked up on something that our own NBC poll was suggesting recently, and that is a shift in the image of Kamala Harris. You can see right now in the CNBC poll, 42 positive, 48 negative, higher negative than positive. That's where Trump is too, largely, 39, 49. The significance is about a month ago when we were polling this, Harris had a higher positive than negative. In our poll, in the CNBC poll, in other polls out there right now, you see Harris now with that negative going back above that positive rating.
Now, not everybody knows the science behind elections, but one of the biggest things that's easy to understand is something called low propensity voters. These are voters or people who never vote. That's really what it is. And the objective of the Trump campaign is to bet their money on people like that. Their whole ground game, everything they've been doing up to this point is not just about getting the initial base to turn out, but people who otherwise wouldn't have voted. This is what he did in 2016, by the way, and why the polls were so off, because low propensity voters showed up for Trump. And so the big if, like Steve Kornacki said, is will they do it again? Obviously, this election can be very complicated if you think about everything that's happened up to this point just in 2024. It's also simple, on the other hand, which is this. Immigration is a problem to most Americans. Kamala Harris loses on that. Inflation, the economy, cost of living, that's been a problem to most Americans. 70% of America thinks we're going in the wrong direction. So she loses on that too. Foreign policy, Israel, Hamas, Ukraine, and Russia. She loses on that too. The only thing that she's going to win on is abortion. So it's very simple what's going to happen. Either Kamala Harris is going to have women from every single corner of this country come out and vote for her nonstop, and she blows Donald Trump out of the water. And currently right now, early voting does not show that. That women that have been early voting, it's a little bit less than it was in 2020. So we haven't seen any indication that that is the case. Now, on the other hand, you could also see, like I just stated, where Trump is going to get people who would have never voted for him. But since the 2 assassination attempts, they've changed their mind. All this lawfare, it's changed their mind. Then, including the people who are already going to vote for him. And then you got the people who are just fed up with the nonsense from the Democratic Party. The wokeness, the attack on our children, the open borders, right? The censorship, all of these things. There's a lot of people that don't like Trump, but they definitely do not like what the Democratic Party has done and what they've become. They also are going to show up and vote either for Trump or third party, and that's not going to be good for Kamala Harris. So that is my opinion. What do you guys think about Kamala Harris?
Look, this is my honest opinion. This is my honest opinion. This is how it should look. 49-1. Exactly like this. Yeah. I'm just being honest. 49-1. 1984. After everything we've seen, there's no way this is a close, tight race. But we can't get complacent, you guys. You got to go out and vote, man. It has to be too big to rig. Make sure you go out and vote. Comment down below if you voted already, if you voted early. I love you guys, man. I'm wishing the best in all you guys' life, man. Bless you all and your families. And I will catch you beautiful people in the next one, man. Peace and love, y'all.